começar aqui, você já pode falar.
Olá, boa tarde a todos. Vamos esperar o pessoal entrando aqui, né? Bem-vindos à nossa live. Eu vou me apresentando aqui já. Olha, temos várias pessoas aqui. Então, sejam todos bem-vindos. Meu nome é Lídia. Em nome do GCUB, gostaria de dar as boas-vindas a todos que estão aqui assistindo a nossa live e também ao nosso palestrante, o professor Edson Canella. Ele é diretor associado da ITS e relacionamento com os clientes do Toefl GRE, Brasil. Atua como professor de idiomas há mais de 35 anos, sendo 22 na FAP, em São Paulo, e há 11 anos como representante da ITS Toefl de GRE, no Brasil, em alguns países da América Latina, ministrando workshops, cursos e palestrando sobre o Toefl iBT e GRE. Então, agora é com você, professor.
Ok, boa tarde a todos. Obrigado, Lídia. Obrigado a todos por estarem aqui, tá? Como a Lídia disse, eu sou o professor Edson Canella. Professor há muito tempo, professor convicto, né? Se tiver uma outra encarnação, né? Para quem acredita, eu quero ser professor de novo. Eu acho que sou muito feliz nessa profissão. Acho que é a melhor profissão do mundo. Nada a reclamar dela. Eu sempre começo assim, porque eu tenho absoluta convicção disso. Logo me aposento, mas vou continuar fazendo isso, com certeza. Eu trabalho para a ETS já há um bom tempo, sou professor aqui na Fundação Armando Álvares Penteado, em São Paulo. Estou falando com vocês de São Paulo, tá? Onde eu ministro aulas de português para estrangeiros, esse é o meu foco, e coordeno os cursos de proficiência, e trabalho para o Toefl exatamente com esses cursos de proficiência, o que me alegra muito, né? Falo especificamente sobre o Toefl iBT, sobre o GRE ou GRE. Agora nós temos também o Toefl Essentials, que é um novo teste no mercado. Nós vamos ter essa nossa live aqui de 2 horas, tá? E vocês podem me interromper ao longo da live com perguntas, que eu escolho um momento legal para responder para vocês. Essas perguntas vocês vão digitar, né? E a Lídia, eu não tenho acesso a elas, porque eu não estou com a parte do YouTube aberta, eu só estou com a apresentação do Zoom aberta, mas a Lídia vai transportando essas perguntas para mim no chat, ou vai lendo as perguntas e eu vou respondendo, tá? Então, vocês, na minha apresentação, não precisam esperar até o final dela para poderem, ou para começarem a fazer perguntas. Mesmo porque, se for igual a mim, eu penso na pergunta e se eu não fizer ela de imediato, eu a esqueço, tá? Na semana passada, vocês tiveram os skills com a professora Diane, né? Reading e listening. Essa parte eu vou falar em português com vocês, mas na hora de explicar sobre o Toefl, let's talk in English, que é melhor. A gente já faz um warm-up, tanto vocês aquecem o inglês, aquecem aí o listening, e o writing, se vocês forem escrever as perguntas para mim em inglês, mas vocês podem perguntar e escrever no idioma que vocês preferirem ou que vocês se sentirem mais confortáveis, tá? Bem, que eu consiga apresentar para vocês um pouquinho do speaking e do writing, tá? Anotem o meu e-mail caso vocês queiram entrar em contato direto comigo, tá? Será um prazer poder ajudá-los em qualquer questão que seja referente a Toefl iBT, GRE ou GRE, e ao Toefl Essentials, tá? ecanela@etsglobal.org. Me deem 1 ou 2 dias para a resposta da pergunta, mas vocês serão respondidos com toda certeza. Ao final também, eu vou apresentar um slide sobre desconto no Toefl para os associados da GCUB né, do Grupo Coimbra, que vale muito, tá? Vocês comprando o voucher pelo Grupo Coimbra, com certeza conseguem um desconto, e é uma forma mais fácil de fazer o Toefl. Descontos em dólar nessa nossa bagunça financeira, né, do país, ajuda bastante. Isso vai ficar para o final, para a gente não fazer muitas digressões em relação à apresentação, tá? Bem, pessoal, para os nossos tópicos de hoje, nessas 2 horas, eu vou tentar interagir com vocês, porque 2 horas, vocês, na frente do computador, pode cansar um pouco, por isso que super favorável que vocês interrompam, façam as perguntas, né? Mas nessas 2 horas, talvez um pouquinho menos, os tópicos são speaking section, all the structure, ok? Vamos mudar agora para a tecla SAP, né? Speaking section, all the structure about this section, examples and rubrics. Rubrics are very important because they have exactly what you have to deliver in your test. The writing section, we are going to learn about the structure as well. Examples and rubrics, note-taking. This is especially for you all, how to take notes. Extremely important because you are commanded, you are really pressured for time when you are on the speaking section, on the writing section. In fact, in all sections you are pressured for time, but I think speaking section demands a lot from you to control the time that you have to speak. Otherwise, you're going to have an incomplete answer, and this is not good. We have plenty of test prep materials and links, okay? I'm going to ask Lydia to send the links to you all in your emails so that you have them there very well organized. And whenever you need any contact with the ETS, Toefl, GRE, or Toefl Essentials, it will be very easy for you all to go there to the list of links that you will receive, see exactly what you need, what you want to, and then enter that link, okay? It will go directly to your email. And to finish the presentation today, question and answers, but as I told you, please do interrupt during the presentation so that I can answer the most number of questions possible. Well, speaking, we know that speaking is the old road. Let's say the Papão from I believe I've been working as a professor, as a teacher for almost 40 years, okay, 38, 39 years. And most of my students, they are quite afraid of speaking. Okay, let's see. Speaking is not difficult. You just have to be calm when you speak and tell what the other part wants to hear, okay? Try not to make your answer very complicated, otherwise you can mix words and make a big mess in your answer, and that will not be good. The speaking tasks on Toefl, they are 4, okay? You will be asked to respond to 4 tasks. One is independent, and the 3 others integrated. What is an independent task, Edson? You're going to talk about familiar topics, and the responses are based on your personal experience. You want to listen, you want to read. So the response is your own personal experience. And then you have 3 integrated tasks. To reading, listening, speaking tasks, 1 academic, 1 campus-based. Campus-based is a situation that happens on campus. 1 is listening, speaking task, academic, and the responses will be based, the responses are based on what was read and heard. So you have these 2 elements to build up your answer. The total time that you have for those tasks is 17 minutes. Well, the speaking scores. Edson, my test is corrected by computer or by human? Both. Both will correct your tests, okay? Human raters use the rubrics to evaluate your speaking delivery. And your speaking is evaluated in a holistic way, in a holistic score. Of course, the way you speak is very important, but you just have to be clear. Don't worry about English, British, Australian, and New Zealand accent. This doesn't exist for TOEFL. TOEFL will evaluate the way you speak English. If it's clear, if it's okay, if it's correct, your English for international communication. You will be evaluated to check if you are able to be and stay in an English environment in a university. This is simple. That's simple, okay? For example, if you have a Brazilian accent, an American accent, or whatever, that doesn't make any difference. If you speak clearly, it's okay. So you will be evaluated concerning your topic development, delivery, and language use. These three topics are quite important when you are evaluated. And you have the rubric. You also will have access to these rubrics so that you can see exactly what you need to say, what you need to speak, how you build up your answer when you are taking the TOEFL. And this will help you a lot. You don't have to overspeak or to speak less. Speak the amount, the necessary amount to conclude your answer, okay? Start your answer, develop, and then conclude. I usually tell students that they should memorize some sentences to help them to start their answers in a way that the beginning of his answer shows exactly that he's starting, okay, and also the development takes the beginning of the answer and then it concludes. I'm going to give you some examples, okay? Just a minute, please, okay? Lydia, I think Professor Adiane is waiting so that she can enter, okay? Can you permit her to enter, please? Continuing. Innovation in scoring. All speaking responses are rated by both a human rater and a speech rater scoring service. That's what I told you. And combined is the strengths of machine and human scoring. And then you ask, machine in correcting my answer? Yes, automated scoring by a speech rater service evaluate linguistic features in an analytic manner. Okay, so they will look at the repetitions of words, how you combine words, and the things like those. And then human raters will evaluate the content, the meaning, and language in a holistic manner. As I told you, a holistic manner in a whole, okay? Not to a specific problem that you might have in any specific word of pronunciation or something like that. And the statistical process, rubric scores and human scores are combined with machine scores. Human scores and machine scores are optimally weighted and produce raw scores. Raw scores are converted into a scale, to a scale score from 0 to 30. As Professor Adiane probably told you last week, every section of the test, okay, goes from 0 to 30. And the total score will be a maximum of 120. Well, TOEFL speaking question 1. Question number 1 is the independent TOEFL speaking question. It is also called personal choice because it is based on your personal experience, okay? Currently, we have these 3 types for this question: agree, disagree, paired choice, and good idea. When you take the test, you will get just one of these styles. So, since you have one question, you can get one agree, disagree, or paired choice, or good idea. And you will be given 15 minutes to prepare your answer and 45 minutes to speak. Well, let's start with the 15 seconds. I said minutes, but it's seconds, of course. Let's start with the 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, you are not able to prepare to write your answer. What you're gonna do is write topics, write some words that will guide you in your answer. Okay, start your answer with first of all, okay, so that you are sure that you are starting telling them what they asked of you. And then the 45 minutes, seconds, sorry, and that you have to give your answer, you will look at those words and guide your response in a way that it has a starting point, a development, and a conclusion. Let's see an example of independent task paired choice.
Some universities require first-year students to live in dormitories on campus. Others allow students to live off campus. Which policy do you think is better for first-year students and why? Include details and examples in your explanation.
Okay, so it's clear what you have to do. Which policy do you think is better for first-year students and why? Include details and examples in your explanation. Well, here you have a preparation time, 15 seconds, a response time, 45 seconds. When they start, when the announcer starts reading the question, you can think of words that will help you. For example, well, first-year student, they don't have lots of money, they are starting the university, make friends, interact with my friends, so I prefer to live in dormitories, and because I won't have to take public transportation. Okay, 15 minutes is over, okay? The 15 minutes passed. And then you have all those brainstorming words to build up your answer, okay? And then 45 seconds. Well, I really think that first-year students should live in the dormitories because they will be at the university already. So when they are on campus, this is much better for them so that they will not spend money with transportation. They will have the library near them and he can interact with the school facilities more easily. E daí você vai olhando para aquelas palavras e você vai conseguindo construir uma resposta, não vai se perder, né? Não vai falar mais do que os 45 segundos, porque you aren't going to speak more than 45 seconds because you're going to be interrupted, and you will conclude your answer. One of the worst things that you can do in your answer is not conclude it. Try to conclude your answer. Okay, next one. Just a minute. It got crazy. And remember the rubrics that I told you? You have this type of information on the rubrics. So if you memorize, if you with a friend, for example, you can record your answer on your friend's mobile and ask him to correct you, and then your friend records his answer on a mobile, and you listen to his answer and analyze his answer using the rubrics so that you know the general description, the delivery, the language use, the topic developmental, what your friend or what your partner can do to improve his answer from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, from 3 to 4. This is really a very good activity. I use this activity a lot with the students in class. Even though because the students like a lot to use the mobile. Okay, so let's make an interaction using the mobile. I would say to you all that from 1 you can get 2. Okay, you can develop from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, from 3 to 4, but you can't develop that from 1 to 4. Okay, from 1 to 3. Remember, when you take a TOEFL prep course, is to help you with the structure of the test, not to teach you English. Many students, they make a little confusion with, well, I have to study English for the TOEFL test. Okay, the more you study English, the better it will be. But it's supposed that you know English already when you take the TOEFL. Okay, at least the end of B2, the end of B1, B2 levels. Okay, B2, B1, C1, C2. This is a common European framework of reference for languages. Okay, it's let's say levels of language abilities that we call common European framework. So if you don't know English a lot, please study a little bit more, okay? Go practice, read, make exercises, grammar exercises, okay? Listen to movies, listen to films, listen to series, lots of things, to songs, and then you will be more prepared with English so that you can take the TOEFL. I have some examples of independent speaking responses, and you're going to see the difference between them, okay? It's really very good to listen to these types of answers.
It's better if at the first year the students live in dormitories and on campus, because it's very difficult the kind of adaptation they have to suffer, because it's the first year and their first experience and the place, so they need help to recognize the location. They need time to live all those aspects of the new school, to have more friends, and because the first year is the more difficult because of adaptation, they need to be more closely relations.
Very good answer, okay? Maybe she would be 3 or 4, okay? Remember, 4 is the maximum. Let's come back, okay? 4 is still very good, okay? Almost 30. 3, it's very okay. 2, okay, average. And 1 is poor. 0, well, 0, a speaker makes no attempt to respond. Our response is unrelated to the topic. Okay, I ask you, what's your name? And then you answer me where you live. Nothing related to the question. So this would be a 0. But I have to confess to you that I don't know anybody. I don't know, okay? I'm not telling you that it doesn't exist, but I have been working for TOEFL for more than a decade, and I don't know, and I've never seen her saying a 0, okay, in a score report. So this answer, if you read this, when you have the time to go there to the rubrics, okay, we have this in the links that we are going to provide to you at in your email. If you go there and you analyze this response, you will see that it's not 3 or 4. Okay, let's go to the next one.
I think the first year students should live on campus. That is because in the first year of especially the first semester, they will have a heavy load of subjects they have to follow, and that means that they have to be able to be on time in campus. And also, the first year of campus life needs them to be familiarized with buildings, with the surroundings, with the environment of the campus itself. So more times in campus will help them to do that. And also, you have to have lots of friends to be able to make yourself at home in the campus. At least this is the home for you for the next 4 years. So it's important to socialize.
Very good response as well. Okay, so test taker number 1 and test taker number 2, and one of them is 3 and the other one is 4 for sure. And if we analyze and use the rubrics, you will easily know who is who. Let's go to this one.
Most of students live off campus, but like me, is to need to require to live in dormitories. Example, a theologian and like this, especially lives in dormitories on campus. They can each with pray and sing and worship, and the relationship is very.
Okay, we have lots of problems with this answer. Okay, first of all, he was interrupted in the middle of the answer. He didn't conclude. Second of all, he can speak well. He really can speak well. Okay, but he needs to join better his explanations. So probably this will be a response to score 2 or score 1. Let's see the last one.
I think living in dormitories is better for first-year students because in the first year, students may have troubles in doing and studying and living in schools, and they don't have many friends in school. So if they live in dormitory, they could make many friends living in dormitory, and it will be helpful for
Okay. Very, very weak response. Okay, and let me tell you, these are model of responses that were taken actually from real tests. Okay, we don't know the person, we don't know his or her nationality. However, these are real responses. Well, test taker number 4 also makes long pauses. Living dormitories, these long pauses are very bad for your response. Okay, I really consider long pauses a bad thing for your response because it will take your time and it won't help you to conclude your answer. If you analyze, we could tell, okay, that this is this is score 1, score 2, score 4, score 3, but these two others, okay, test take number 1 and test take number 2, we had to analyze them better, okay. Using my experience, this one is probably 4 and this one is 3, okay. And if you consider all the answers that you listen to, this one is the weakest answer that we had. So by knowing this, Okay, by learning with these answers, you learn exactly what you don't have to do when you respond to an independent question on the speaking section. And then after finishing this, remember, you just have one question of this type. You're going to go to the integrated speaking task. Remember, at the beginning of my presentation, I told you that you have a reading, listening, speaking, campus, a situation, topic. It consists of a short reading, a conversation, and a single question. Just one question, okay? The test taker reads one paragraph, often a proposal or an announcement from a campus sources such as a newspaper, website, or email. Then you have that on your screen, and you have some seconds to read, okay? The test taker hears a conversation between two students about the reading. So after reading that, okay, you have a very good period of time to read that. Don't get desperate because it's enough. The time is enough, okay? And after reading that, of course, if you can read better for you, you're gonna have two students, okay, having a conversation about the same topic, and one will state his or her opinion, not both of them, just one. Test taker is asked to briefly summarize the reading, so you have to make 2 or 3 sentences about the reading, and then to state the student's opinion and the reasons for that opinion. So it's that's why we call this activity, this task, integrated, because we're gonna mingle the what you read and what you heard. You can take notes. Notes are allowed, and I'm gonna tell you later how to take notes when you are listening. When you are listening without having problems to lose important piece of information when you are writing. We can do both things at the same time. Preparation time in this case is 30 seconds, and then you have 60 seconds to respond to the question. Remember, please, 6 seconds is a lot. 1 minute is really a lot, and be very careful. Excellent. And if I don't respond, and if I don't answer, and if I answer, I mean, and 10 seconds is left. Okay, if your answer is complete, well, don't worry about that. The worst that can happen is if your answer is cut in the middle of it. Okay. Please remember, if you have questions, okay, type your questions to Lydia. I'm going to interrupt for some seconds in 2 minutes. Let me see, something is happening. Okay, let's see integrated speaking task 2.
City University's choir is changing its performance schedule next year. Read an article about it in the student newspaper. You will have 50 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now.
Okay, you have 50 seconds to read, okay? Let's make this experience, please. Okay, let's read and see if 50 seconds are enough. I'm reading with you and controlling the time. Let's go. Okay, 50 seconds. You know, it is easy to read the text. They are not very long. After reading the text, you have the speaking, okay, between two students.
Now, listen to two students discussing the article.
Jim, you're in the choir, right? What do you think about what they're doing next year? This article.
I really like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, the new director's right that it will motivate us.
How's that?
Well, some of the other schools are really good, so we'll really have to work hard to go up against them.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we don't rehearse more than once a week, but if we know we'd be competing with other schools, we probably rehearse more often and improve our singing a lot.
That's true. The more you practice, the better you get. So, what about what the article said about how this will help the program?
I hope it works. Right now, our program is pretty small, but we have some really talented people, and it would be great to attract even more people.
So, how will this plan help?
Well, if we go to these off-campus events and other people hear us and think we're really good, we might be able to get some new students interested in coming to this university to be a part of our music program and perform in our choir concerts.
You're right. I hadn't really thought about that.
You know, clear, simple. Maybe the word rehearse, okay, it's not a very common word. So you have to pay attention in all vocabulary that you have on the reading part, and then maybe just as happened, okay, you have new words in the conversation. But if you pay a little bit more attention when she says when he says the word rehearse, she says yes, because the more you practice, the better. So you know that rehearse is connected to practicing, and then you can answer the question. Of course, sometimes it will appear words that you don't know. This is obvious. However, if you pay attention in the whole dialogue, you will have this word explained in the dialogue. Okay, so don't get nervous or upset because of that. It won't really make any harm for you in your answer. Then, to conclude this part,
The man expresses his opinion about the change described in the article. Briefly summarize the change, then state his opinion about the change, and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion.
okay, you just have 30 seconds to prepare your answer, 60 seconds to answer. That's it. Again, I will tell you to write only topics, and when you start speaking, go and follow the directions that you wrote in the paper. Well, first of all, I really believe that rehearsing it will be quite more important. And if they have more time, you really have to attach, let's say, to link your response on what you read and on what was said. Okay, key points. Of course, this is a little bit idyllic because it's not possible. We don't have time during the answer to write this. But key points in the answer are: the change is that the core at a city university will add off-campus competitions next year. The man agrees with the plan. So 3 words that you take from this sentence, it will be enough for you to start your conversation. For example, change, add, off-campus, man agrees. And you can write man and other words with 2 or 3 letters. This will make you write much faster. I'm going to help you at the end, okay, with some tips for that. He agrees that performing competitions will motivate the core to improve because they rehearse more and therefore get better, okay? The more you practice, the better it is, or the better it will be. You can write just that. And the third key point that I took note, he agrees that the off-campus event could help the program grow. More people would see the core, and that might interest new students, other people to come to the university. That's it. Okay, and with these key points, you can build up your answer. Also, we have the rubrics. Remember, the first one was for the independent answer, and this one is for the integrated answer. They are different. You are expected to give different information, okay, or different pieces of information when the question is independent, what is an independent one, and when is an integrated one. Okay. Again, please go to the links and see, read, learn what you need to deliver. Okay. And then we have two examples of responses for this integrated question. The first one.
Actually, the student liked that program. First of all, his opinion was in the other school, maybe it's good, and you can work to improve singing a lot. And additionally, a program he was talk about the his program. It was small, but if you go to campus and to singing and other students heard that, they will enjoy to come to this university. That's um, that's the another things. In my opinion, I agree with this student uh, that's improving singing a lot in his university, and the program is
Okay, and he finished his answer. It's a pity because his answer is not that bad. Okay, he just didn't conclude his answer, and that's really a pity. Let's go to test taker number 2.
There's a change in the organization of the choir schedule. The choir so far hosted only singing concerts on campus only, but from next year there will be competitive events held in other locations. Jim, a member of the choir, likes that. There are a few reasons for that. First of all, he thinks that by engaging in competitive events, they will get more rehearsals and will improve their singing in a better way than they've been doing so far. And it will also help their choir program
actually the
because
student liked that
although
program.
there are some people who have talent,
First of
the choir itself and the program is small. But if they go around on different competitions, other people might see how good their choir is and might wish to join the choir. That way, the size of the choir will improve, and that is generally a good thing. And those are the reasons why Jim, a member of the choir, likes the changes.
And those are the reasons that the changes. This boy is fantastic. He summarizes everything, and the way he speaks is clear. He tries to make some inversions with the sentences. Probably this boy is scored 4, okay, according to the rubrics. And his accent is clear. We know he's a foreigner, but we can understand everything he says. So this is my tip to you. Don't worry a lot with your pronunciation, okay? Try to make your best concerning your pronunciation, concerning the way that you mingle what you heard and what you read, or even giving your own experience, for the independent question, okay? And make your response clear. This is what I have to tell you.
There's a change.
Well, I can help you with some tips during the speaking section. Uh, First of all, write neatly and clearly. And I have to tell you, sometimes I write things that I don't understand why I wrote. Not today, okay? Because I learned that I have to be clear, but it happened a couple of times to write down something, and then I try to read my own handwriting, and what is that? So make sure you will understand your own handwriting, because when you are pressured for time, you write such incredible things that you don't even imagine what you wrote later. Write down questions in numbers, okay? Not questions in numbers, sorry, the numbers of the questions, so that you can organize and access the information immediately. Edson, where I am going to write, probably you were thinking about that. So, I think Jenny told you in the first workshop, in the first webinar, when you go to a test center, okay, a physical test center, I'm not talking about home edition. Home edition, you also can take notes, but you have a different procedure, okay? But you also can take notes. You receive 3 sheets of paper when you enter, when you sit down to take your test. And if you need more paper, you just raise your hand and they will bring as many sheets of papers, sheets of paper that you need. If you need 10, okay, 11, 12, that's it. I usually tell my students to make those papers organized so that they can access the information immediately. Remember, you are going to record your response, and then you don't have all the time that you would like to have to record it. Lists and charts, bullet points or numbers, they will help you a lot. I usually tell students to do like this, okay? Here is an example of a chart you could make for a listening clip centering on a conversation between a student and a professor. But let's suppose that we have the librarian and the student. Let's suppose that we have the security guard and the professor. So you just make this table and you put some bullet points, some words here and some words here that will help you. Mainly in the integrated questions, because you're going to read, you're going to listen the conversation only once, and that's it. So if you write bullet points, if you write numbers or an important word, it could help you really a lot. Write down only the most important ideas. Take care to write down the following pieces of information in your notes. Try to memorize what you have to write down. The topic of the conversational lecture, because they mix lots of ideas and words inside that conversation that you might not remember what is the topic about. Key points, reasons, and examples. Important terminology and phrases. Remember the rehearse. That word is not a very common word, so write down that word. Different speakers' opinion, questions, and reactions. Reaction is, oh, the girl got surprised. The man didn't believe it. The man emphatically said no, or he emphatically said no. This will help you to build up your answer. Any solutions or suggestions and decisions made. Of course, I know that some of you will try to take notes of this slide. You can take a photo, okay, of the table and of this pieces of information that I advise you to take notes. Also, avoid full sentences. This is very important. When I touched Toefl preparation, when I delivered classes on TOEFL preparation courses. I like this a lot because every group of students, they had their own symbols and abbreviations, okay? You can use the symbols and abbreviations instead of writing the full sentence and of the full words. So here are some examples of symbols and abbreviations that you could use in your TOEFL notes just to help, okay? You can create your own symbols. This is easy. Instead of writing and, you can put a plus sign, greater than, better than, smaller than, is, are, agree with, is the same as. I specifically like the good, correct, yes, bad, wrong, no. This one is different. Question. Okay, increase, rise, higher, better, decrease, fall, lower, worse. So, example. Okay, aka also is another word as also known. I use this one a lot. Speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker A, speaker B, male for men, male, female, student, P for professor, or prof for professor. This will help you when you're taking notes in order to remember what was said during the conversation. Okay. And tips for you on your speaking. More tips, let's say. Avoid repeating words. Vary your vocabulary as much as possible. Yeah. We know sometimes when we are pressured for time, I make those mistakes sometimes, and let's consider that I have lots of experience, but it happens, okay? And we are not machines. We are human beings, okay? And give yourself, okay, permit yourself to make mistakes. This is normal, comprehensible, and acceptable. But if you have control, try to avoid repeating words, try to vary your vocabulary. Also use forced phrases like, as a result, consequently, moreover, therefore, to link your ideas. Try to run away a little bit of and, because, but, okay? And try to use forced phrases. Use a mix of simple and compound sentences. Very short sentences give an idea of a kind of unnatural, okay, English. Don't copy from the prompt, especially at the beginning. Avoid using idioms. This is really dangerous, okay? Why you're gonna say something like, from this we know that the early bird catch the worm. Deus ajuda quem cedo madruga. Why you're gonna say that? This is really, really dangerous because you have to memorize them, unless, of course, you have a total control of those idioms. You should not use them. They will not make the reader think that you speak more English because you use one or two idioms. They're okay, but just if you are totally sure about its use. Paraphrase. Don't copy the sources word from word. Paraphrase the word. That's what's paraphrase. So we're gonna say the same thing using other words. Okay. It's exactly this. For this part, do you have questions? Can I help you with something else? Okay, you can ask any question. And then we're going to go to the writing. Please, Lydia, let's see if the students have questions, if the audience.
Yes, for sure. Should I speak in English or Portuguese?
Okay, let's speak in English. No problem. I think in English.
Okay, I'll mix it up because there are questions in English and also in Portuguese.
Okay, so, that's it. No problem.
Yeah. So, Sarlene Soares, she said that queria tanto fazer esse teste, mas não estou compreendendo muita coisa, né? Aí ela perguntou se poderia ser algumas partes em português, e aí teve um momento que você falou um pouco em português também. Luli Chan Lerman. The integrated questions are unique to teach skill, or are the integrated questions a mix of all the skills at the same time?
Okay. Let's go to the first one, and then I'm going to ask you to repeat the second question, because I think I didn't understand the whole question. What's the name of the first person?
The first person, Sarlene Soares.
Sarlene, thank you so much for being here, okay? I know it's a little bit complicated, but believe, I started talking in Portuguese in the middle of a sentence just because I forgot that I was speaking in English, okay? And sometimes it happens. And when you speak more than 1, 2, 3 languages, you're gonna see that sometimes you're mixing all of them. However, in English is better because you start understanding more. And I really recommend if you have problems of understanding Sarlene, watching movies in English and subtitles in English, because you can mix what you listen to and the reading, the subtitles in English. Also, you are going to read in English and listen in English. Today is much easier to learn English, okay? And be calm. Okay, be calm. I don't think that the part that I talked in Portuguese was enough to help you, but you have my email, and if you have any type of tip, okay, just let me know. It's going to be a pleasure to help. Okay, the second one again, Lydia, please. I understood part of the question, not all what you said. You wrote, the integrated questions are unique to each skill, or the integrated question, a mix of the skills at the same time. What do you mean with a mix of skills? You are trying to say if we mix writing, oh, maybe I understood. Oh, yeah, I think I understood. Who asked it? Lulishan. It's not that it's a mix of skills. I think you're saying reading, listening, and writing. Okay, but at the same time, it is. In fact, since the Toefl is academic, it tries to reproduce exactly where you're going to face during our class at a university. Because you have to read, and then you have to listen to your teacher, to your professor, and then you have to make some conclusions, okay, some inferences. Sometimes you listen for inferences, sometimes you listen to say something. So it's a mix of these skills, but not with the purpose that you are training, reading, listening, and writing. It's with the purpose to reproduce. The objective is to reproduce the environment that you're going to have in English environmental learning. Okay? Just let me know if I answered your question, okay? Please. Lydia?
Yes, we have some more here. A lot of people has been participating. Yes, so it's very interesting. And thank you a lot for all your support here, because you've been very supportive to everybody and people are really liking it. And I believe you're really making everyone more calm to the test, right?
It has to be, Lydia. It has to be.
Yeah,
In fact, I coordinate the courses today, but don't think I miss a lot when I have, let's say, lots of students, and it was funny because I pressured them and I said, you have 15 seconds to prepare, and then, but be calm. It was a very good moment, but if you don't make your students calm, if you don't make people calm, well, what is that about? Okay, it's about being calm, because if you're going to take the TOEFL test, English. You aren't going to take a test like this, okay, $215, and you don't know English. The problem is, if you go to take the test and you are nervous, you're going to decrease your scores will decrease a lot, okay? But I have to thank you for the opportunity of doing this. It's always new. Even if you have been doing this for 4 years, it's always new because the audience is always a lot different, okay? Any other specific question? Because we do have time.
Okay. So Sarah Gusso, she said, I've been practicing my speaking with an app. Sometimes it doesn't, I don't understand my words correctly when I try to have a natural rhythm. Should I say every word separately and slowly for my speaking section? So then I think you have already answered, right? So the person should speak more, a little bit fast, like fast, right?
Again, the name of the person, please, Lydia.
Sarah Gusso.
Okay, Sarah, first of all, speak in your normal tone and rhythm and volume of voice. When you go to a test center, some students, when they put the headphone, and the headphone, they are really big, and they are really good. So ETS provides the headphone to the test centers, okay, and they have an excellent quality of sound, but they really protect your ears from external interference. And sometimes the students, they shout when they are speaking, and sometimes they speak very slowly. And no, don't worry about this. Speak in your normal tone and the rhythm, okay, and the speed of voice. If the app that you are using don't understand your voice and the differentiation that you are of the words that you are speaking, probably the problem is with the app, not with you. You don't have to speak slowly so that the machine understands, or you don't have to speed up your conversation to look like more, let's say, natural. No. For example, I'm speaking with you the way I speak Portuguese. Of course, the rhythm is different because it is another language. But I don't think you have to speed up your conversation or to slow it down when you give your responses. Okay, speak on your normal and also normal rhythm, speed of voice. Okay.
Okay, so Gideon Shadrach said, do you think that the use of a template can help?
Gideon, primeiramente, obrigado, né? Do you think that the use of a template can help? What do you mean with the template, Lydia? Do you know? Is there any additional information for this question?
I believe it was in the beginning of your presentation where you were presenting some of the reading parts, mixed it up with the speaking part. So maybe it's about it.
Template.
But we can go to the next question too.
Yes. Let me try
Anyways.
to find the template.
Gideon,
just a moment, Lydia. Sorry, I interrupted you. Gideon, can you explain to me, please? Okay, what do you mean with a template? maybe it's obvious, okay, but nothing is obvious, and to me it's not obvious right now. So I would like to answer your question, but I didn't understand the template. Okay, please go on, Lydia, please.
Okay. And then Lívia Rezende de Abreu, she said, do I have to take the 15 seconds to prepare and the 40 seconds to answer a question?
Yes, and the 15 seconds, they are for you to prepare your answer, okay? And the 45, not 40, the 45, they are supposed for you to give your answer, to report your answer, okay? So you are gonna have immediately after the question, 15 seconds to prepare. And then after that, it will start again, okay? The counter will start for you to record your answer. They are not mixed. And if I understood what you said, okay, they are not mixed. They are separated. First 15 and then 45.
Okay. And then there are two more questions, interesting ones.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Rafaela Farias do Nascimento, she said, Professor Edson, is it a problem to use synonyms to explain something? For example, I have a problem to speak choir, so I can use singing group sometimes, I mean, instead of, right?
Very good. That's very good. First of all, thank you for your question, and thank you for being here. Really, really thanks. Yes, you can use the synonyms all the time, okay? But don't be afraid of saying core. I'm working with English, and sometimes I let's say slip, okay, on the word suggest, okay, because it's so much easier to say suggest and then a suggest. And some words, even in Portuguese, we have problems with some words. So don't run away from the word, okay? Try to say it, but of course, you are pressured for time, you are nervous there in front of the computer, you have to give the answer, okay? You can say, well, the singing group, okay, the core, put the word core together so that you are not only giving the synonym, but you are also saying the word, okay? Anyway, if the word is impossible for you, because there are words that not they are impossible, but they're difficult ones, give the synonym. Much better, because it will make you feel more confident and less nervous, and the fluidity of your conversation and the fluidity of your speech will be much better. So if you need to run away from the word, and if you need not to run away from the word, okay, we imagine the word and you are running away from that word. If you have to skip this word, if you have to avoid, okay, run away is too much Portuguese translated into English. If you have to avoid, to skip that word, do that and use a synonym. Much more, even because you're going to be much calmer, and this is what you need when you take the test. Lydia?
Okay. So Nayara Toledo, she asked some question in Portuguese. No segundo teste de fala, no segundo teste de fala, devemos apenas resumir os textos e áudios, ou também é necessário dizer nossa opinião?
Okay, Nayara, this is a very good question. I would say that some students, they put some inferences, some pieces of information about their own. But what is asked on the question is, briefly summarize what you read, and then state the answer. Okay, let's go there just for you to say. Oops. Okay, it's here. The test taker reads a paragraph. Okay, the test taker hears a conversation between two students. The test taker is asked to briefly summarize the reading and to state the student's opinion and reasons for that opinion. So here, I do think that they want to know if you understood what you read and understood what was said by the student, and how are you, let's say, mingle these two situations into one. If you want to add something of your own, no problem, but you have to have time, okay? What is asked must be in the question. If you want to give some additional information, and this additional information, Nayara, né? I think it's Nayara, this additional information was not asked to you, okay? So, first of all, answer what is asked, and then if you want to include additional information, that's okay, but it has to have the information that was asked.
Okay, so let's see here. So about Gedeon Shadraki, who said, do you think that the use of a template can help? I think a friend that is with him wrote here in the group, Otonomad is his name, or her name, I'm sorry, if it's a he or a she. Template is about memorizing sentences beforehand. That's what he means with this question.
Okay. Now it's okay. You mean you are gonna memorize some structured sentences, so there you're gonna use to start your answer. Okay. I didn't know that about as a template, but look, a good learning to me. I have lots of students that did that in the past. I was the coordinator of a test center, okay, here in São Paulo, FAP, and I coordinated the test delivery that, and I observed lots of student test takers that when they received the papers, okay, the sheet of papers of paper, they started writing some sentences there as a consequence. Therefore, moreover, in addition to that, thus consequently, because they had just memorized those sentences and they didn't want to forget those sentences when they were speaking. Okay, well, it works for some people. It doesn't work for some others. So, Gideon, if you want to memorize some sentences to help you to show the development and the pace of your answer, just like, first of all, some students should take, then consequently, concluding, finally, okay, please memorize them, and learn how to use them appropriately. I really think that it will help you. So the use of this, what you call templates, will give you a kind of automated input for you to answer, and it will help you, make you calm. Okay, go there.
Okay, and I believe these words make the text or your speaking more rich, right? Because you're using it appropriately, and also because it's more formal than informal too.
Yes. Lydia, just one more thing that I'm going to add. Formal and informal, if you mix them, it's okay. But I don't think you are going to speak in an informal way all the time, because the questions, they direct you, okay, to use an appropriate language. The memorization, let's say, learning by heart these words will make you feel yourself more confident. And I think that this is the key point. You go there and you think, oh, I have a couple of words that I know by heart, okay, that I memorized, that I know by heart, and then you feel yourself more confident. So it's more the fluidity of that moment will make you calmer, and will make you get better results. Okay, I like to be pressured in some points. But when you're taking a test, the calmer you are, okay, the better for you.
Okay, and the last one, the person here said, could you repeat the part about don't using idioms on the speaking, please?
Okay, yes, of course, yeah. I'm here to help with that. It's not that I said to you, don't use idioms, okay? I wouldn't say that because some people, they know idioms a lot. I like idioms a lot. But whenever I'm talking, if it's with a friend, it's an informal conversation, I use the idioms, but just if they are necessary. What I told is avoid using idioms. They just lead you to trouble. Some idioms, in fact, they lead you to destruction. Okay, you use them and then you don't know how to join, how to link the expressions. When I say avoid using idioms, it is simply because they need that you memorize them by heart. Some of them, they have a very special structure. For example, haste makes waste. What is that? Haste makes waste. If we translate haste makes waste, we're going to have a pressa é inimiga da perfeição. And then, if you say, in the middle of a conversation, haste makes waste, thinking of a pressa é inimiga da perfeição, maybe you're going to mix or try to join something else, and that will put you into trouble to conclude that idea. That's what I said. So, but if you have a good use, if you feel yourself secure of using idioms, those special structures, go ahead, no problem. Okay, I think I answered this question. If not, okay, let me know, please.
Okay, we are finished with questions.
Okay, well, lots of questions and very interesting ones. Thank you so much for that. Okay, this tells me that you're paying attention on what I'm saying and that it's really worth to be here with you. Okay, well, let's go to the writing part. This is my favorite. I like to write. Okay, my first graduate course was on literature, and I really like writing. On my opinion, I think writing is the easiest part of the test, but don't consider that as a general truth because I like to write. Okay, the writing part, it's a little, it's quicker, of course, and you have two writing tasks. One is independent and the other one is integrated. For the integrated one, you have the reading, the listening, and the writing. And the short academic reading and listening material. And then you have 20 minutes to answer. You're going to read something, you're going to listen something, and then you're going to write. So you have a kind of trying ideas. I'm going to give you more examples ahead. And the independent task, this one you have 30 minutes to answer, and the response is based on your personal experience or opinion. That's it. Let's say, holistically talking, I think the independent task is easier, at least to me, because you're going to use your own experience. And the integrated one, not that is more difficult, it's not. In fact, it's easier. But you have to join ideas. And when you respond to the independent task, you feel yourself more free or freer to say what you want to say. Okay, that's basically the difference. the writing scores. Remember those rubrics that I told you about the speaking? You also have them for the writing. But the speaking ones goes from 0 to 4, and the writing ones go from 0 to 5. You have 4 levels. The speaking one, 4 levels. So this one, we would say for ranges, okay? In these rubrics, go there, read what you are expected to write, and simply write. I have a friend, a very good friend, that he says, when you write, then read what you wrote. Read again. Ask yourself if what you wrote, you understood. And whenever we do that, it's simple, but it's true. First of all, write. Then read what you wrote. Read again. And ask yourself if what you wrote told you what you wanted to say. And if that's clear, okay, your writing is good. Of course, we have the scores according to Toefl, and the independent writing rubric also will be rated holistically, and you're gonna be asked on the development of ideas, organization, quality, and accuracy of language uses. The integrated writing also holistic, quality of writing, completeness, and accuracy of the responses. So you have to go straight to the topic, write about the topic, make your inferences and your ideas, but please, digressions, okay? That means not be attached to the topic. I ask you about the whales, and then you start answering me about crocodiles. Okay, I didn't ask you anything about crocodiles. I asked you about whales. So don't make digressions. Keep yourself on the topic. Ratings, as I told you, are from 0 to 5, and converted into a scale from a score of 0 to 30. Remember that I told you all the sections, they are scored. I scored up to 30. Task 1, integrated writing. Let's go. Test taker sees a 230, 300 word reading passage for 3 minutes. There you are, okay? Reading that topic for 3 minutes. Then test taker hears a 2-minute lecture about the same topic from a different perspective or with additional information. It is the same topic from a different perspective, or besides the different perspective, some additional information. Take note. Take note. What you had there, what you read, it's there. Okay, you can read again the amount of times you want to. But what you heard disappears, vanishes. So if you have your notes, you can compare them. The text is there. Okay, but what you read and what you heard disappeared. So take notes. Test taker sees the reading passage again and also a prompt. What I told you. Test taker has 20 minutes to respond to the prompt. And probably you're going to use your notes. Test 2, independent writing, okay? Test taker sees a prompt that asks for opinion about an issue. You have the topic and you are asked to write about that. Test taker is advised to use specific reasons and examples to support their opinion. That's it. Keep yourself on the topic, please. Test taker has 30 minutes in total for preparation, writing, and revision. Revision is quite important. Pay attention on the revision. If you don't review, probably you are gonna make mistakes that you wouldn't make if you had reviewed. Okay. Suggested word count for responses 300 words, but please don't count the words. Make your answer. Write your paragraph, write your text, write your topic, but don't start counting the words. In fact, you have a word counter there, and sometimes you see students writing some words, inserting words to, to have the 300 word text there. If it's 280, okay. If you answered the question appropriately, it's okay. If it's 350, okay. But the problem is when you say, write, and in fact you didn't write anything. When you make lots of digressions, so when you don't keep yourself on the topic, when you say about different things that has no relation to that are not related to the topic. So suggested word count for response is 300 words. A little bit less, a little bit more. Don't worry about that, please. Integrated writing example. First, you need to get ready to take notes on the reading and listening passages. Then you will summarize the key points from both. Remember that I told you, integrated, you read, and then you listen, and at the end, you write. We have this text here, okay? I'm gonna give you the 3 minutes that you have for you to read the text. I know that it's a little bit long, but since we are trying to reproduce the moment that you have in the test, I'm gonna count 3 minutes, no more than 3 minutes for you to read the text, okay? In the meantime, I'm gonna turn on the lights, otherwise I'm gonna disappear here because in São Paulo, it's getting dark, okay? 3 minutes from 1, 2, 3, now. Sorry. Okay, we have 3 minutes already. Okay, the text it's not that simple, but we can see lots of words from German root, words from Latin root. Sorry, and words from Latin root. It's much easier. Okay. Before continuing, also, if we have a very different and let's say not common word, you will have the explanation of that word. Okay. So don't worry if you didn't understand the whole or all the words for the on the reading passage. Okay. Just wait a minute. Computer has their own wish. Okay. Take a look at what is. Let's listen to the lecture referring, okay, to this text, and also we have lots of some pieces of new information. Okay.
No memoir can possibly be correct in every detail, but still, the Chevalier's memoir is pretty accurate overall, and is, by and large, a reliable historical source. Let's look at the accuracy of the 3 episodes mentioned in the reading. First, the loan from the merchant. Well, that doesn't mean that the Chevalier was poor. Let me explain. We know that in Switzerland, the Chevalier spent huge amounts of money on parties and gambling, and he had wealth, but it was the kind of property you have to sell first to get money. So it usually took a few days to convert his assets into actual money. So when he ran out of cash, he had to borrow some while he was waiting for his money to arrive. But that's not being poor. Second, the conversations with Voltaire. The Chevalier states in his memoir that each night, immediately after conversing with Voltaire, he wrote down everything he could remember about that particular night's conversation. Evidently, the Chevalier kept his notes of these conversations for many years and referred to them when writing the memoir. Witnesses who lived with the Chevalier in his later life confirm that he regularly consulted notes and journals when composing the memoir. Third, the Chevalier's escape from the prison in Venice. Other prisoners in that prison had even more powerful friends than he did, and none of them were ever able to bribe their way to freedom, so bribery hardly seems likely in his case. The best evidence, though, comes from some old Venetian government documents. They indicate that soon after the Chevalier escaped from the prison, the ceiling of his old prison room had to be repaired. Why would they need to repair a ceiling unless he had escaped exactly as he said he did?
Okay, so this last paragraph, this last sentences, let's say like that, they bring lots of new information. Okay, let me just close this one. Foi feita uma pergunta aqui e eu estou aproveitando para respondê-la bem rapidamente. Ok, that's it. You had the reading part and then the listening part, and then this is exactly what will appear on your computer. Remember, I told you you have the 3 minutes, but then you have the text there so that you can check, go recheck, read again, and so on. Of course, 20 minutes won't permit you to reread the text a lot. Okay. But if you have all the notes that you took from the conversation, from the lecture. You can mingle them, you can mix them, and then you can write a very good answer.
Summarize the points made in the lecture, being sure to explain how they respond to the specific points made in the reading passage.
So, go there, summarize the points, and pay attention how they respond to the specific points made in the lecture. Again, integrated means mingle. Okay, integrated means that you have one thing, you have another thing, and then you make a kind of a mix of them so that you can have the answer. I made a summary of some key points for the integrated task. One, the reading. The loan the Chevalier took from the Swiss merchant shows that Chevalier wasn't rich, because it says somehow that he was rich. The lecture. The Chevalier had wealth, but it was in the form of property. Okay, he was not rich, but he was wealthy. But it was property. He borrowed only because it took a bit of time to convert his property to cash. Okay, that makes sense. And two, because the Chevalier memoir was written such a long time after the conversation with Voltaire took place, it can't possibly have captured the conversation accurately. The lecture says the accuracy of the conversation should be believed because of the Chevalier wrote down as much as he could remember each night directly after the conversation, and he used these notes to write his memoir. So we have some points from the reading and some other points from the lecture, and using those points, so okay, using these comparisons, you're gonna write your answer. Of course, you have some minutes to prepare this, but have in mind that 20 minutes flashes. Okay, it really goes very quick. Okay, very quickly. Sorry. Make your let's say key points, but don't use more than 3-4 minutes to prepare them. Remember, you have to organize your ideas. Okay, the introduction, 2 paragraphs, the maximum, and the conclusion. Okay, well, even 1 paragraph, if it's well explained, okay, you can make kind of compare and contrast and then conclude. However, if you take a lot of time to start preparing your answer, you won't have time to review your answer. And reviewing, okay, the revision is very important. Task 2, independent writing. This is what we have there. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Always telling the truth is the most important consideration in any relationship. Start thinking, okay? Do you all tell the truth, always tell the truth? I'm sorry. If you say that you always tell the truth, not you, okay? Let's say about me. If I tell to anybody that I always tell the truth, this will be the first lie, because it's impossible to tell the truth always. So we can start the answer by playing with it. Okay, always telling the truth is the most important consideration in any relationship. I would start. I don't think so. If I say that I always tell the truth, I'm going to start, or I'm going to tell in my first lie. Well, and then I would use specific reasons and examples to support my answer. Okay, in this case, your answer. Writing responses. You have the rubrics that as I told you, and then you also have, human rater and automated raters. They will analyze the amount of repetitions, how many words do you use, do you wrote, and things like that. And the human raters will analyze the comprehension, the way you develop your answer, how you link up the ideas and things like those. Okay. Remember, the more you read, the better you write. The more you listen, the better you speak. Okay. Reading is the input for the output writing. Listening is the input for the output speaking. Okay, you need to listen well to speak well. You need to write well to read well to write well. Okay, and since we are almost finishing, but we still have time for questions, and also for some pages that I will show you, you will find in those links. Lydia, will send to your email. Okay. If you have any question about this one, okay, about the writing section, please start writing these questions. In the meantime, this is something that I would like to tell you, okay? We have a partnership with GCUB, Toefl, ATS Toefl, and GCUB. And then this will give you a voucher with 15% of discount for the Toefl iBT. Remember, we are talking about dollars, okay, and 15 on $215 is a very good discount. This is possible just because of the partnership. You won't get anyway a discount on the website. Okay, this is only for partnerships. And it tells you that you have a new opportunity from May 2022. Okay, please read it with care. And the exam with the discount, with this discount, will be $182.75 American dollars, and it's exclusive for students, professors, and the employees in the universities associated to GCUB. Okay, for this specific opportunity, you have up to May 31st. To register. Okay, the link is there, but probably Lydia will also send this link to you when she sends the list of ATS links. Okay, we have lots of additional resources. My best scores that it brings these scores from more than one Toefl. Okay, you can have you can use 2 Toefls. For example, in this Toefl, you needed 85, but you didn't get. You got 81. However, you were very good in the speaking and writing, and then you have to take another Toefl because you didn't get the 85 you needed. So for this other Toefl, you can ask your my best. It's gonna join. Will include, okay, scores from more than one test, and this we call my best. So if in one test you got very good results on the speaking and listening, and the other one on the writing and the listening, you can join them both and have your best. It's since August of 2019, so it still is a new thing, and some students they don't know. Registration, okay. Very easy to register for the Toefl. Toefl destination search, you go there, Toefl go anywhere, and then You have all the places that you can go with Toefl. Toefl Go Anywhere website. This website is still active, and you have lots of possibilities in this website. Register, free materials, many things. TOEFL test preparation, the insider guides. It's a totally free TOEFL course, okay? And it's on a EDX platform. I took this course just to know how it worked, and I have to confess that I like it a lot. Okay, you can enroll for free at ets.org/TOEFL/insider guide. Insiders, sorry, guide. Try it. I really recommend. First of all, because it is free, and don't consider that what is free is not good. What is free in this case is very good. Okay, if you have to pay just because you want more additional materials, and the free materials we have a limit, and when this limit has ended, okay, you go and you pay. Free TOEFL iBT test prep also in our website. Free TOEFL iBT, the practice test. TOEFL practice sets. Okay, you can practice only one section with a free sets of questions from previous tests, all from real situations. Inside the TOEFL test, I like a lot. Okay, he explains. It's a video series that helps you in reading, listening, speaking, and writing questions, including question structure, scoring criteria, sample responses, and skill building tips. I didn't use any of these videos today, but I do suppose Adriane should have used one of it with you in our previous workshop. The TV channel on YouTube, okay, also will help you. And then we have a lot of paid materials that we call it TOEFL test preparation, the official guide, TOEFL practice online. This one I like, this one a lot. Okay, it's a password for you to train with a complete TOEFL, and you will receive an automated correction. It tells you in a very good way your score. And usually when you take TOEFL practice online and then you go to take the TOEFL test, the scores, they look alike. If you get in this practice online, let's say 100, probably you're gonna get a 97, 98, or 102 and 103 in 102, 103 in the real TOEFL. Okay, I mean, for example, you took TOEFL practice online, this one that it's just a prep, a train, let's say like that, and you got here 90, and then you go to the real TOEFL, despite the fact that this one is the real, but the scores are not valid. If you got 90 in this one, probably you're gonna get 89, 88, 87. I'm telling you probably, okay, this is not for sure. I'm telling you something from my observations during the time that my students took this TOEFL practice online. You get 2, 3, 4 less, or 2, 3, 4 up in the real. So it's a very, very good way of practicing. I really recommend. The official guide that I have already talked, okay, and then we have 2 volumes that include 5 authentic practice tests. Let's see. TOEFL practice online that I have just told you. You have a complete practice test, half that speaking tests. I'm a #1 fan of this, and I have to thank you a lot. Okay, this is my mail. Please feel comfortable to ask any other question. Okay, I'm here to help. thank you a lot for being here. Okay, and Lydia, now I need your help with the questions. Okay.
Okay, so thank you everyone. And now we're going to some other questions. Flávia de Cássia Ribeiro, she said, if in the integrated writing I block and I can listening well and I couldn't get all the information that I supposed to listen, what should I do?
I think she said if the internet blocks or something like that.
No, she said if herself, if the integrated writing I block, like she herself block and can listen well and couldn't get all the information that she was supposed to listen, what she should do.
Oh, Kelly, her name is, sorry.
Flavia.
Flavia, oh, very similar, Flavia, sorry. Flavia, first of all, please don't do that, because you won't have the chance of listening again. So since the beginning, stay calm, listen, take notes, because if you get yourself there, okay, in a static situation, at least you have some notes, because you're gonna listen just once. I had understood that if the computer, the internet blocks, and then you don't listen anymore. If that happens, your test will start. They will restart the internet. Okay, they will restart the test, and it will continue exactly from the point where it stopped. Okay, when I coordinated the centers, I saw lots of this, not lots of this, but I saw some of this happening due to internet variations, and then the test was restarted, and it started again on the same, from the same point that it had stopped. But if you have this problem here, I'm sorry for you. You won't listen again. That's why start listening with your pen to take notes. At least if you didn't get all the information, you got some. And then I'm pretty sure, Flavia, you are intelligent enough to deal with this information and make a very good text.
Okay, next one. Lívia Abreu asked se esse curso vai ter algum certificado, e não, ele não vai ter um certificado, mas é muito bacana de vocês poderem, né, assistir todo esse conteúdo e também tirar as dúvidas, né? E a Samily Aquino, ela escreveu: I usually finish the text with no time to review. After that, I realized that I made a mistake, and that I wouldn't make normally. And then she said, okay, this first.
Okay. First of all, when we do that, we feel very frustrated because we know that we wouldn't make that mistake. This is the first thing. I really recommend that you have 20 minutes, so you're going to divide this minute, okay? 3 to 4 minutes to prepare a sketch and put all the words and ideas that you might have during the text, and then let's say 2 minutes to read the text, to review the text, 2-3 minutes, and then the remaining minutes that you have, you're going to prepare and write your text. But you have to make this, let's say, sketch. Okay, you have to have your plan to write. So when you start the writing session, make your plans. Otherwise, probably you won't have time to review your writing. For the integrated, for the independent, the same thing. The good thing is that on the independent one, you have 30 minutes, so you can have 5 minutes to start brainstorming what you are going to say, okay? And then you have more 5 minutes maybe to review, but it's really necessary, and it's a matter of organization. Otherwise, you are going to read mistakes that you don't commonly make, and it's a pity. It's a pity. Lydia?
Okay. So the last one, Sammy again. Don't I have to write down everything I can? I thought I had to write 3 paragraphs justifying each reason and explain the lecturer opinion in each one.
Not necessarily, okay, not necessarily. You can write 2, 3, but if you keep yourself on the topic, this is the most important. There is no rule for you to do exactly this or that. You can build your answer. Sometimes you write 3, 4, let's say, sometimes you write 4 paragraphs explaining everything, and these 4 paragraphs, they are very good. And sometimes you write the same 4 paragraphs, and 2 of them are completely out of the theme. They are real digressions. So in this case, 2 paragraphs would be better than 4. Okay, it's the same thing. It's exactly the example that I gave you. A suggestion for a word count is 300, but if you wrote 250, 320, what's up? No problem at all. Okay, Lydia?
Okay. And then, okay, and then Milena, she asked, and other people also asked, she said, ótimo curso, parabéns. Poderiam esclarecer onde será enviados os materiais e o link de desconto?
Você pode me ajudar com isso.
Sim, sim, é que você falou no começo, né, que nós temos os e-mails dessas pessoas que estão aqui com a gente na live, e aí a gente vai enviar para todas as pessoas que estão aqui com a gente, então o link, né, os materiais e também o voucher de desconto para vocês poderem fazer o teste. E também agradeço todo mundo, né, que participou aqui com a gente. A gente teve 80 pessoas aqui com a gente durante a live, então foi muito bacana. Obrigada a todos e ótimos estudos. Obrigada também, professor. Um ótimo final de dia para o senhor.
Eu agradeço, Lívia. Tá, eu agradeço a você pela ajuda, né? E pela parceria. Agradeço à professora Rosana, ao GCUB, à GCUB, né, no nome da professora Rosana, por essa oportunidade, por todo esse pessoal que esteve aí durante essas 2 horas. Já disponibilizei o meu e-mail, caso vocês precisem, e treinem para ir para o Toefl, para vocês pegarem o teste só uma vez, não precisarem refazer e pagar mais $215. Eu tenho certeza que vocês obedecendo 2, 3 regras aí básicas, e a primeira delas aí, o Toefl, sabendo que você sabe inglês e ficando calmo, e quando não entender uma coisa, pensar, isso é uma no meio de 50, então dá licença, né? Eu não tenho a pretensão de tirar 120 no Toefl, ok? Não é a pretensão de tirar 120. Então, já que você não vai tirar 120, errar uma ou outra não pode deixar você nervoso, nervosa, a ponto de você desestruturar todo o seu teste. Isso não é inteligente, nós somos inteligentes. A gente tem que manter a calma. Eu falo isso porque eu gosto muito de fazer testes, né? Mas essa é uma parte minha. E eu sempre fico, ou tento pelo menos ficar, se eu falar que eu fico é mentira, mas eu tento ficar calmo porque melhores quando isso acontece, tá? Eu estou falando para vocês na condição de professor e na condição de que eu já vi muitos alunos chorando por causa disso, ou por causa daquilo, quando estavam fazendo um teste. E eu não falo só do Toefl, né? E isso não ajuda, tá? Isso não ajuda, isso só atrapalha. Muito obrigado a todos vocês por estarem aqui. Espero ter ajudado um pouquinho. E mais uma vez, Lídia, obrigado, tá? Parabéns. Foi muito bom ter você aqui. E eu acho que é isso. Um excelente fim de noite para todos. E eu estou em São Paulo, está muito frio, né? Se vocês estiverem aí no lugar frio, porque, como eu disse, não gosto do frio.
Tá certo, gente. Muito obrigada a todos vocês. A nós do GCUB que agradecemos também a participação do professor. E uma ótima noite para todos.
Tchau, tchau.
Tchau, tchau.